Good day po sa lahat, si Fiscal EJ po ito. March 25, ito na ang simula ng pinaka-crucial na laban sa impeachment ni VP Sara. But here's the real question, lalaban ba siya o iiwas? Nakatakda na ang hearing proper, ang tinatawag na mini-trial sa House Committee on Justice. Ito ang yugto kung saan ilalatag na ang ebidensya at ihaharap ang mga testigo laban sa Vice Presidente. So today, let's break it down. Here's my legal forecast sa banggaan ng Vice President at ng Kongreso. Unahin natin ang pinaka-importanting strategy na posibleng gamitin ng defense, the strategy of non-recognition. There are strong indications from VP Sara's camp na hindi sila sisipot sa March 25. Her lawyers have already submitted an answer ad cautelam, isang legal caution. Ibig sabihin, sumasagot sila sa aligasyon pero hindi nila kinikilala ang jurisdiction ng House. Now, from a strategic standpoint, mas madali ring i-boycott ang hearing at tawagin itong political circus kaysa harapin ang mga mabibigat na testimonya gaya ng kay Ramil Madriaga sa harap ng kamera. But here's the risk. If they don't show up on Wednesday, the effect is clear. Waiver. Under the first mode, ang proseso na kinakaharap ni VP Sara ngayon, the hearing is the official opportunity to be heard of the Vice President. Kapag hindi siya sumipot, the committee will treat all evidence as unrebutted o walang kontra. And that becomes an expressway para mabilis makahanap ng probable cause ang House at maiakyat ang kaso sa Senado. Now, if that's the first move, ano naman ang counter move? Their counter move is the filing of a petition for certiorari sa Korte Suprema. Ito ang inaasahang next step ng defense. Habang nagaganap ang hearing sa House, the defense will likely file a petition for certiorari before the Supreme Court with a prayer for temporary restraining order on the ground of grave abuse of discretion. Now, ano ang magiging argumento nila? They will claim that the House rules are unfair, particularly dahil ang mga abogado ni VP Sara are not allowed to cross-examine witnesses. Sa House kasi, congressman lang ang pwedeng magtanong. Kahit nga congressman ka pa, pag hindi ka member ng Committee on Justice, you are still not allowed to question either the witnesses for the complainants or the witnesses for VP Sara. But here's the legal counterpoint. The House hearing po is akin to a preliminary investigation. Parang proseso sa piskalya. Hindi ito full-blown trial. The purpose is only to determine probable cause, not guilt beyond reasonable doubt. At sa ganitong stage, hindi po mandatory ang right to cross-examine. That right fully applies only during a full-blown trial in the Senate acting as an impeachment court. So dito, posibleng mahirapan ang defense na i-argue na may grave abuse agad. Now let's assume, umabot na ito sa Senado. Kung makalusot ang articles of impeachment sa House plenary via 1/3 vote at matransmit sa Senado, huwag tayong umasa na diretso trial agad. Why? Because the Senate learned its lesson back in 2025. If there is a pending petition in the Supreme Court, posibleng mag-antay muna ang Senado bago mag-convene bilang impeachment court. Tandaan po natin, marami pa rin kakampi si VP Sara sa Senado. Kahit na merong mandate sa Constitution that trial should begin forthwith, baka pigilan nila ito. Kasi, para sa kanila, ayaw nilang maulit ang nangyari last year, kung saan naghanda sila for trial, pero sa huli, the Supreme Court declared the articles void and ruled that the Senate had no jurisdiction. So what does all of this mean? In short, the March 25 hearing is the start of a legal chess match. The House is trying to do everything by the book para hindi na sila ma-reverse ng Supreme Court. On the other hand, the defense is trying to boycott the process para magkaroon sila ng bala to claim that the proceedings are rushed and unfair. And here's the deeper strategy. The plan of the Vice President is not just to hype, but to starve the House of legality. They want the House to move fast because the more one-sided the process looks, the easier it is for the Supreme Court to say, there was grave abuse of discretion. So in the end, everything boils down to one question. Sino ang mas papaboran ng Supreme Court? Ang proseso ng House o ang due process claims ng Vice Presidente? That's where this battle is headed. So yan lang po ang nais kong ibahagi today and see you in my next video. Maraming salamat po.